because I've been a fan of Destiny's Child and Beyonce's, and she's doing her thing.
Yes,
and
yes.
I'm very happy for her. Yeah.
Just saying that, like, I've always loved it. Like, so you got to say your chest, like, love. Thank you so much for marrying.
When she married that billionaire, all of that was going on when Diddy was harassing her.
Oh.
Because he's been harassing her.
There's been a storm of whispers swirling lately, and it's starting to look like Janet Jackson and Beyoncé. Yeah, they're far from the sisterhood everyone thought they were. On the surface, it looked like love and respect, but behind the scenes, some say it's been Cold War vibes for years, fake smiles, polite claps, but no real bond. Now it's heating up even more. People are saying Beyoncé might have used Diddy to help wipe out Janet's legacy, and it gets deeper. Word on the street is that Michael Jackson tried to warn Janet before he passed. That's not just gossip. Some are claiming Diddy didn't just do dirty with Cassie and Kim Porter. He might have had his hands in Michael's downfall too. And guess who allegedly knew more than she ever let on? Beyoncé.
He was to take and rip the piece off that he did.
The leather piece.
Right, but more came off than what was supposed to.
So he was supposed to pull that off and we just see the red there.
Fans are side-eyeing her hard right now. And to top it off, Tina Knowles just got caught liking a shady IG post that was straight up mocking Janet's ticket sales. That like didn't go unnoticed. People are calling it a bold slap in the face. So what really went down between Janet and Beyoncé, and how deep is Diddy's connection in all of this mess? Let's run it back to 2004, a year that flipped Janet Jackson's world upside down.
Justin Timberlake left you hanging out there? I am speaking to Miss Jackson.
She had just hit the Super Bowl stage with Justin Timberlake, and boom, he exposed her on live TV. That moment changed everything. Instead of Justin catching heat, Janet took the full hit. She got blackballed by the industry, hard. Radio stations stopped spinning her tracks, TV networks pulled her videos. And overnight, she went from icon to outcast. Now here's where it gets even messier. Around that same time, Janet and Beyoncé were allegedly planning a major duet. Yep, behind closed doors, it was supposed to be a huge deal. Two legends joining forces. It could have been history in the making.
Are you on the ground or in the comments liking posts about legends? What are you doing on social media embarrassing your daughter like that? Ain't that why Ashley the dancer, her head dancer, ain't there no more liking posts and stuff like that?
But as soon as that Super Bowl drama exploded all over the headlines, Beyoncé supposedly backed out real quick. Sources say she didn't want her image tangled up with Janet's scandal. She didn't want to be seen next to someone the media was trying to tear apart. And let's be real, that move hit Janet deep. At a time when she needed real support, she got silence instead.
So I'm leaving Sony a free agent, owning half of Sony. So I own half of Sony's, and I'm leaving them, and they're very angry.
Janet was counting on support from another powerful black woman at the top, but Beyoncé, she left her hanging. And here's where things get real shady. Some fans believe Beyoncé might have known what Justin Timberlake was about to pull that night. Yeah, they're saying the whole Super Bowl mess was a setup, and that Beyoncé stayed silent because it cleared a path for her to rise while Janet got pushed to the sidelines. Even Diddy was on that same Super Bowl stage, but who even remembers his performance? Exactly. The moment Janet's top got exposed, it wiped out everything else.
In June of 2009, at that point in time, how long had you worked security for Mr. Jackson?
Approximately 10 months.
Some folks online are saying it felt too convenient, like it was all part of a bigger play. And yeah, from the outside, Janet and Beyoncé look cool with each other. Smiles, shout-outs, tributes, the usual. Beyoncé even dressed as Janet for Halloween and dropped her name in interviews. But when you dig a little deeper, fans say it all felt a bit too perfect. More PR move than real love.
I knew something terrible would happen at the end, not to mention the fact that Michael constantly told me, LaToya, if I die, they're gonna murder me, they're gonna kill me.
Because when it mattered most, Beyoncé was silent, and Janet stood alone. When Janet was going through it, Beyoncé was nowhere to be found. And what's wild is, as Janet's star started to dim, Beyoncé's empire was rising fast. Fans can't help but ask now, was that just timing? Or was it something deeper? And there's another moment that still has people talking. In one interview, Beyoncé brought up her dad, Matthew Knowles, and compared him to Joe Jackson, Janet and Michael's father.
This just shows celebrities are the dumbest people. Because why are you going through wiping the Instagram? What do you think that tells us, bro? What do you think that says, bro? You like Krabby Patties, dog. You were at the Diddy party.
She said something like, my dad was strict but not abusive like Joe Jackson. Whoa, that line hit hard. Now look, everyone knows Joe Jackson's legacy is complicated. There's no denying that. But for Beyoncé to just throw the word abusive out there so casually, that felt personal. And even though Janet never clapped back publicly, fans caught the silence. And sometimes silence screams louder than words.
She is losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day. And she still hasn't said anything. Just pretending like life is great in Paris.
Is it her place to say so?
I mean, probably not, considering she's gonna be indicted for anything she would say. These are criminals. Diddy is a drug dealer, and so is Jay-Z.
To a lot of people, it felt like a slick jab, like Beyoncé was taking shots at Janet's family to make hers look squeaky clean. The shade wasn't loud, but it definitely wasn't missed. Now let's get into the mess that really had folks side-eyeing the whole Knowles crew. Tina Knowles, Beyoncé's own mama, got caught liking a shady post that was flat out clowning Janet. The post called her out for supposedly not selling out shows and dropping ticket prices. And Tina, she just casually double tapped it like she was scrolling through gossip on her lunch break. But once people saw it, the internet exploded. Fans came for her hard, dragging her all over the comments. That's when Tina tried to brush it off, claiming she didn't read the caption. But come on now, who hits like on a post without checking the full tea first? That's not how IG works, and everybody knows it. It didn't feel like a mistake, it felt intentional. Fans saw that like a shade, loud and clear.
Honoring your husband, hello and welcome to the First Lady of Music, Beyoncé.
To a lot of people, it looked like the Knowles family never really embraced Janet. Not as a fellow icon, not as a legend in the same league, just another rival to outshine. That love, it might have been all for show. Now here's where things get even deeper, something fans have been whispering about for years. Multiple sources, even those Jackson fan accounts that have followed the family drama forever, claim that Michael Jackson allegedly warned Janet to stay far away from Diddy. What did he know that the world didn't? So why did Michael warn Janet about Diddy?
So the party's going on, the party's off the chain, the party's already a success. I remember Beyoncé had just dropped Crazy in Love. I remember that's what was just killing the dance floor. And she was there. And so I remember the DJ, he ain't played yet.
According to people close to the situation, Michael wasn't fooled by Diddy's polished image. He saw right through it. He didn't trust how Diddy operated in the industry and flat out told Janet that getting too close would only bring problems. Michael had been calling out shady industry power moves for years. He said certain music execs were working overtime to tear down black artists. He even called Sony the devil, exposed dirty backroom deals, fake friendships, and people who smiled in your face while plotting your downfall behind closed doors.
No, because I've been a fan of Destiny's Child and Beyonce's, and she's doing her thing.
Yes,
and
yes.
I'm very happy for her. Yeah. And she's doing her thing.
Yes,
and
yes.
I'm very happy for her. Yeah.
So when he allegedly warned Janet about Diddy, it wasn't just some random paranoia. Fans believe he was speaking from real experience. He saw Diddy climbing, not just as an artist or CEO, but as a behind-the-scenes shot caller, someone who made artists owe him, someone who could make you or break you, and didn't care about playing fair. Fast forward to now, with all these lawsuits and dark accusations surrounding Diddy, that warning from Michael hits way harder. And here's where it gets eerie and honestly disturbing. There's one name that keeps popping up, both in Michael's final days and in Diddy's world. and it's got people raising serious questions.
Y'all know that she liked to scream and make a lot of noise, then y'all know who I'm talking about. Anybody that, that's in Houston that knew was going around Houston, a lot of rappers and shit, then you know who I'm talking about.
Now let's talk about Diddy's latest drama, and a name that's got everybody raising eyebrows, Fahim Muhammad. If that name doesn't ring a bell, here's the deal. Fahim was Michael Jackson's head of security during his final months. Not only that, he was inside the house the day Michael died, one of the first people on the scene. He saw everything. But here's where things get real suspicious. After Michael passed, Fahim didn't just fade into the background. Nope, he allegedly popped back up working for Diddy. And not as some low-level bodyguard. Fans say he was deep in the mix, playing the role of a fixer during the Lil Rod lawsuit. Yeah, Fahim is actually named in the court docs. They're saying he helped cover up violence, kept Diddy's secrets under wraps, and even allegedly got tied to a shooting involving Diddy's own son. That's no small accusation. That's serious heat. So think about it. The man who was closest to Michael during his final days ends up working for the very man Michael supposedly warned Janet to stay away from. That's not just strange. That's a massive red flag waving loud in everyone's face. Fans have been piecing this puzzle together for years, and while there's no official proof linking Diddy to what happened to Michael, the theories keep growing. Because toward the end, Michael was scared, looking over his shoulder, feeling surrounded by people he couldn't trust, and now we're seeing why. Michael wasn't just paranoid, he was terrified. He told people he was being followed, watched, set up. He didn't trust his doctors, didn't trust the folks around him. He truly believed he was worth more dead than alive. Then just like that, he dies under the sketchiest circumstances, full of holes, full of questions, and surrounded by people who were never fully investigated. Michael was reportedly saying things like, they're gonna murder me, they're gonna kill me. That's what he told Barbara. Chilling, right? Now jump to late 2023, and suddenly everything around Diddy starts falling apart. Cassie comes out swinging with a lawsuit that rocked the whole game. She accused Diddy of brutal behavior, not just whispers behind closed doors, but with actual video evidence backing it up. That hotel surveillance footage, it hit the internet and went viral in seconds. It was all over. The industry couldn't pretend not to see it anymore. But here's what really got fans heated. When it was time to speak up, most of Diddy's so-called industry friends went completely silent. No posts, no comments, nothing. Like they were all trying to protect themselves or just waiting to see how bad it would get. No statements, no comments, just silence, like nothing ever happened. But Janet, she didn't need to post a single word. She let her moves do the talking. Days after Cassie's lawsuit went public, fans noticed something that made jaws drop. Janet had deleted every single Instagram post that featured Diddy. Gone. No captions, no explanations, just vanished. Like he never existed. And let's be real, celebrities don't make those kinds of moves by accident. That kind of silent wipe, that was a message. Janet was saying loud and clear, I want nothing to do with him anymore. And she wasn't the only one. Naomi Campbell, another longtime Diddy insider, did the exact same thing. Quietly erased him from her profile. No drama, no statement, just cleaned house. It was like both of them had seen too much and finally drew the line. But here's the part that had folks really talking. Beyoncé didn't delete anything. No unfollows, no distance, no subtle signs, just silence. And for a lot of fans, that silence hit different, especially knowing how tight she's been with Diddy over the years and how deeply connected she stayed through Jay-Z. People started asking, why hasn't she moved like Janet did? Now here's where things get real messy and yeah, a little speculative. But this is the part that some fans believe ties it all together. See, a lot of people think Beyoncé didn't rise to the top just off talent alone. They believe she built powerful relationships behind the scenes. And one of those key connections, Diddy. While Janet was getting blackballed after that Super Bowl chaos, Beyoncé's career was blowing up. And to some fans, it didn't feel like coincidence. They say the industry wasn't just punishing Janet, it was replacing her, pushing her out to make room for a fresh face. They wanted a black pop star who looked safe, fit the brand deals, played by the rules, and Beyoncé checked all those boxes perfectly. Now enter Diddy. He wasn't just a flashy celebrity, he had real pull. He was tight with Clive Davis, one of the most powerful execs in the music business. Clive had already helped create legends like Whitney Houston, and it's heavily rumored he helped unlock major doors for Beyoncé too. So if Diddy was the connector and Clive was the gatekeeper, fans are saying Beyoncé might have gotten a serious industry push, right as Janet was getting pushed out. It wasn't just timing, it was chess moves behind closed doors. So here's the theory that's got fans buzzing. While Janet was being pushed out, Diddy was quietly helping Beyoncé climb up. Maybe he was plugging her in with the right power players, opening backroom doors, or just helping her keep that squeaky clean image while the spotlight conveniently shifted. Again, it's all alleged, but when you line up the moves and timing, it's hard not to wonder if Beyoncé's rise was partly built on Janet's fall, with Diddy playing puppet master in the background. Now let's talk about the silence, because sometimes what people don't say speaks the loudest. Janet has never come out and dragged Beyoncé. No messy interviews, no online shade, no Twitter fingers, but longtime fans swear she's been speaking in her own subtle way for years. If you pay close attention to certain performances or dig into specific lyrics, they say Janet's been leaving breadcrumbs. And then there's her interviews. Anytime Beyoncé's name pops up, Janet's whole vibe shifts. Quick smiles, tight replies, topic changed real fast. Like she's saying, yeah, I know what really went down, but I'm not gonna air it out. It's giving silent strength. It's giving, I've been watching, but I'm not playing dirty. And that energy, it's got fans believing there's way more to this story than anyone's admitting. Janet's been silent, but Beyoncé's silence has got everyone talking now, while the Diddy chaos explodes, the trial footage, the disturbing accusations, the lawsuits. Beyoncé hasn't said a single word. Not about Cassie, not about Diddy, not even a whisper about Janet. Even with all the resurfaced talk about how Janet got pushed out back in the day. And fans are starting to feel like this isn't just about staying out of drama suit, it's looking like strategy. Now here's where it really takes a wild turn. And remember, this is all alleged. There are rumors swirling that Diddy might be holding something over Beyoncé. Not just any dirt, people are whispering about a certain X-rated tape. And no, not the one that Pimp C allegedly mentioned before he passed. This is supposedly something completely different. Some folks believe Diddy's been sitting on it for years. And if that's true, that would explain everything. Why she's never publicly distanced herself. Why she's been radio silent while everything around him crashes. Because if Diddy really has something that damaging, that serious leverage, the kind that keeps even the most powerful people quiet. Now here we are. Diddy's empire is falling apart by the minute. The evidence keeps stacking up. Lawsuits, videos, witnesses. And for the first time ever, it feels like the industry's biggest shot caller, someone who's pulled strings behind the scenes for decades, is finally being exposed for real. So now let's ask the real questions. Do you think Beyoncé stayed close to Diddy on purpose? Was it all about keeping power, even if that meant stepping over someone like Janet in the process? And what about Janet? Has she been dropping silent hints this whole time that we just didn't catch until now? And that silence from Beyoncé, is she hiding something or just playing it safe to protect herself? Sound off in the comments. I want to know exactly what you think. And if you made it this far, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.